So in this video, we're going to talk about the area of a triangle and how to find the area of the triangle, which is a formula that you should become become familiar with since elementary. The objective is that you can find the area of the triangle, and then you can use previous concepts to help me find the area of a triangle. So because this is now geometry, we're going to take it a step further and using what we have learned of how to find missing information to find area of the triangle. So the area of a triangle. The area of a triangle is 1/2 the product of the base and the height. There's your formula, 1/2 base times height. Now your height, I talked about in the previous unit, is the altitude of a triangle. So we use the altitude, that's why it's important for us to know what it is, to find the height. And notice it makes a right angle, remember, to the opposite side. So there's going to be many times when doing a triangle, because you are beyond the point that I give you all the information and you just find the area of the triangle. What happens if you have missing information? If you have missing information, it's one of three situations. One, you have two side lengths of a right triangle. Well, if you have two side lengths of a right triangle, that is when the Pythagorean theorem gets involved. If you have a right triangle for 30-60 or a right triangle for 45°, you're going to use your special right triangle ratios that we use. Or if you have a right triangle with a side length and an angle measurement that is not one of these, you can use the trigonometric ratios. You could use, if you had this situation, you could use trigonometry every time and you're going to get the right answer. So this is the reason why we had to learn all those so we could apply it. So I'm going to do one very basic elementary example where I give you the height, 6, and your base is 7. The height and the base always make a 90-degree angle. They're touching each other. If I had a number over here, 10 is useless information for what we're trying to do. So I need to find the area of the triangle, so 1/2 base times height. So 1/2, 7 times 6, and it doesn't matter which order you multiply, but this is 21. And since it's area, we need to label it. I don't give you units, so we say units, or we say square units. Alright, so then let's look at B. We have our height. I know it's the height because it's a 90-degree angle and it's not one of the sides. And then my base has to be this bottom here, which is the entire base of the triangle, which is 36. So I need to find my height. So let's examine what we have. We do not have any angle measurements, so I can rule out this one and this one. I do have two sides of a right triangle, so I can use the Pythagorean theorem to figure out what this third side is. So this is my C, my hypotenuse. So I'm going to do 6 squared plus h squared equal 10 squared. 6 squared is 36 equals 10 squared, which is 100, plus h squared. Well, we get h squared equals 64 square root. My h is 8. So now I can find the area of my triangle. So I go 1/2 my base, which is 36, times 8. Alright. Calculate that out. It's 144. Now if you don't want to write out the word units, a shortcut would say square units. It's a U with a little square. Alright, so let's take a look at C and D. Now we have angle measurements and we only have one side length. So looking back at our list, now we're not going to use the Pythagorean theorem, but we're going to use these two down here. I have the first one, I know I just jumped it quick, but you have a 45°, and the next one is a one of these, so we're going to use trig on the last one. So this one I have a 45° angle. I give you this side. So where is my base and my height? Well, here is my 90° symbol. So my base is one side, my height is the other. So I need to figure out how to get those sides. Well, let's write down our ratios of a 45, 45, 90 triangle. This is x squared root of 2, so we're going to set that equal to 16, and these are x, which are going to be the same, because again, this is isosceles, because this is 45°. Notice how it all comes full circle. Alright, so to solve this, I could divide by root 2. Then I gotta multiply root 2 to top and bottom. So we have 16 square root of 2 over 2. Simplify it out, that is 8 square root of 2. So that's x. So both of these sides equal 8 square root of 2. Don't freak out because we have root 2's when we're trying to find the area. That's very possible. So we have 1/2, and we have 8 root 2 times 8 root 2, because those two sides are the same. So remember what you learned before about roots, outsides together, insides together. So we go 1/2, 8 times 8, which is 32. But then we have root 2 times root 2, which is 2. My final answer is 64. We don't have units, we're going to go square units. Alright. Now let's look at D. D, we have an angle that's not 30, 60, or 45, so I'm going to have to use trig. 18 is my adjacent side. And I have a right angle here, so this is my opposite side. And then one of these is my base, and one of these is my height. So I need to find my base so I can figure out the area, because so far what we have is 1/2, and then we have an 18. We need to figure out what's the other number we're multiplying. So opposite adjacent, that is tangent. So we're going to do tan of my angle 18 equals my opposite side, which is B, over my adjacent side, which is 18. Cross multiply, we get B equals tan of 18 times 18. Alright. Use your calculator to figure that out. So tan of 18 times 18, or 18 times tan of 18, doesn't matter. Oop. I get 5.8. Alright. So to find my area, I take it times 5.8. My area formula there. Multiply it all together. It equals 52.2 approximately. U squared. Alright, so the last example is what happens if I actually give you the area and I need to find what the value of x. Well, here is my right angle. This has to be my base. Even though it's not touching that side, it is going to that side. So this is my base, which makes x my height. So I know 1/2, if I would do my formula, is 10 times x, which I don't know because that's my height, equals, and then I actually know my area is centimeter, or 70 squared centimeters. Well, then I can use this algebra problem, which is 5x equals 70, and comes out to be x equals 14. And then my units on this one is centimeters. So review area triangles, 1/2 base times height. You need to know that formula. And remember how to find the missing information. You just kind of have to be investigators of what information do you have and what do I need to do to go find it. And that list is super important. Reminder to do a reflection so you get credit for watching this video.